Let's head to the video store and grab a game for the weekend. We have the box art and description to guide us when we're choosing what game to rent. So grab your rental card because this is the Warp Pipe Rental.
What game you rent for the weekend?
What game did we rent for the weekend, guys?
We ended up grabbing Ducktales 2 on the
Woo.
NES. Woohoo! I wonder how many people were able to rent this or play this. I didn't get to play this back in the day, just the original one. And this one is another pricey NES game. I will say with the box art here, looks great. I dig it. It's a great scene right there with Scrooge McDuck and a treasure map. You see a armored duck back there. Looks like a wizard. And I forgot the other guy's name, the Scottish guy. Remember?
Flintheart Glomgold, is that?
Oh, maybe.
That sounds right. Yeah.
That sounds about right. You get a gold star.
Oh, yay. Yay, gold stars.
So it has a little bit deviation from the first game. They tried to add a little bit more. I guess, you want to change a little bit from the first game to the second game, maybe tweak some stuff. So I'm curious how you guys enjoyed that. I ended up live streaming this maybe 6 months ago or so and ended up going through the game, and I'll let you guys know about that. But what were your guys' thoughts with it? Go ahead, Keith. You take it.
I actually thought it was pretty good. I do have a copy of it and played it just moments ago for a little bit. And I thought it was pretty good. It's not quite the first one, but it definitely has some good catchy tunes in it. Again, it's no moon level. Some of the things they added were interesting. I like that I could pull on the little flower and get launched. I liked some of the little tiny things that they changed. I always have an issue with the DuckTales games where when I'm pogoing, I end up clipping just the edge of an enemy or the edge of a wall or something like that, and then he unpogos, and then I'm crashing into something and getting hit. But I thought it was really fun. I'd honestly forgot that you can pick up the ice cream and stuff like that to give yourself health back. So for the first little bit, I was getting my butt kicked until I was like, oh, wait, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. But I thought it was pretty good. What about you, David?
I wasn't really into it.
No?
I think it lost a little bit of the charm from the first one. Like the first one's so iconic, right? And this one came out later towards the tail end of the NES lifespan, which made it more limited to buy. I didn't think the music really held up. And I was actually speaking with Tom Ryan about this today, where I mentioned these things to him, and he's like, well, it's probably because you didn't play it when you were younger, and so you don't have that kind of nostalgia to that music and whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, that could be it, but I don't know. I just they added a lot of stuff to it. So there was things that you would unlock. You would have to get certain things to get 3 different types of endings. There's 3 different endings in this game.
I got the worst ending, yeah.
You had 0 money?
I didn't find the whatever pieces, the extra.
Oh, so pieces. You got the second ending. So
okay.
The worst ending is when you finish the game with 0 money, which I think is an impossible task. You should probably be rewarded for that.
Right?
But yeah, the one thing that I did like was I liked the raft, where you would hit the raft and then it would go and then
move. Yeah.
But there was a lot of, just like the first game, there was a lot of hidden things in this, where you can jump over walls and go through, which I didn't know at first, but you can go through the waterfalls,
right?
So because there's platforms behind the waterfalls. There were a few moments where it seemed impossible to get through without getting hit.
Right.
I don't know. Big fan of the first one. This one, it had a lot of the first. Oh, I also felt like the level designs were not as, what's the word I'm looking for? There wasn't a lot of variety between all the levels like there were in the first one. Like the
Yeah.
first one, you had like Transylvania, you had the Himalayas, you had the moon. Here, you were all kind of like in one area of the world, and they all kind of similar style levels.
Not quite as creative as the first one was, right?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
And being a Capcom game, that's another reason why I was a little disappointed with the music because I thought it would be like every track would be a banger, but I
Yeah.
personally didn't feel that way.
I did like the music on the island level, I think it was. I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty good, but that one definitely jumped out at me as one that I was like, "Oh, this is pretty
Hmm.
good." But
Yeah.
it's not the first game, but I personally didn't mind it.
I did like how they
What
simplified the pogo stick though,
Yeah.
because now I guess in the first one you had to hit down and then
Right.
pogo, right?
Mhm.
This one you just had to hit B. You didn't have to hit down and it pogoed by
Right,
just
the
hitting
extra.
B.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it simplified a little bit of the controls, and maybe that's because there were more controls in the game where you had to, grab onto the
Mhm.
rings and such like that, or
Mhm.
you had. I did like the one thing that I did like. I mean, there was a few things that I liked, but like one especially, besides the raft, was if you got certain tasks done or found people or rescued people, you would upgrade your pogo stick
Yeah.
in order to hit heavier items. So I
Mhm.
did think that like that little RPG element was pretty cool.
Yeah. Find gyro, and then you can pull the bigger blocks, or
Yep.
you can
Mhm.
get the
Right.
iron pogo adapter, and then you can break the heavier, thicker blocks, stuff like that.
Mhm. I just don't think for me personally it was as fun as the original, and maybe that's just like nostalgia talking, but
Mhm.
that's just my opinion.
I feel like there was a lot of text when you tried to enter the levels. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
that's just me, but like they tried to put a lot of more like conversation into the when you go from that map screen into it. But
I
Right.
feel like the game was a little bit more directed towards a little bit of an older crowd too, because of some of the things that you would have to do in the game weren't always obvious.
yeah,
Like if,
Okay.
for instance, like there's some puzzle action to it where you had to move a block in order to hit another block that would hit another chest or something. You'd have to pull a block and then hit a block and then so it was like a whole
yeah,
puzzle situation. So I feel like it was maybe a little bit more advanced for advanced players.
I
yeah,
did like this that they added like a little store
Hmm.
option. After you beat, you can buy, a cake, a safe for your money, a continue globe, special energy, or a good mojo doll. So this way you can actually spend your money on something and then just collecting it for a high score. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it actually has purpose.
yeah,
So I thought that was a little fun thing. But yeah, I mean, I would agree with Dave with it didn't really hit like the first one. And again, we don't know is that because we played the first one hundreds of times as a kid growing up, and I've never played this one as a kid. So playing it now, and you're obviously comparing it to the first one, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like these changes,
yeah,
maybe, or the soundtrack isn't as good. Like it was neat that they tried something new, and this could be a fault to the other ones as well. There's a Rescue Rangers 2 that came
mm,
out. Maybe that doesn't hit as well as like the first one. Who knows? I do see a lot of elements that they pulled from Darkwing Duck if you played that game, because he does have parts where he's grappling onto rings and the platforming, and Uncle Scrooge does that with his cane. So they pulled a little bit from there. And like I said, I live streamed this on my Russ Lyman channel about a year ago. It says, and I did end up beating the game, but I didn't get the best ending because I didn't find all the map pieces,
yeah,
special map pieces in the game. In each
So one
level, yet
thing that
again.
this game also did is, which I thought was cool too, is even if you beat a level, you can go back to that level to find items or pieces that you missed. So you had
yeah.
replayability to go back into the levels to do more searching.
Kind of
So
adventure
that's pretty
around,
cool.
right?
You couldn't go back into the levels in the original one.
Right, right. And I would say
So that
this would make a good rental game for the weekend with having those added challenges and be able to go back. Maybe, Friday you're just getting your bearings going, playing the game, and then Saturday you're real locked in. You're like, all right, we're going to tackle this.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to find these map pieces so we get the better ending, or who knows.
With all of these extra added features, it would have been nice if there was a password system or a battery or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something that you could save and go back to it, right? Because
there is a lot of
game
stuff to
over,
do in this
right?
game. Yeah.
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 Buy those Mojo dolls, I guess.
Right, yeah, you gotta buy the Mojo dolls.
Yeah.
I think we had a few comments with you guys seeing what you thought about this game.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
See, we had over on our YouTube community page. Retroholic16 says, picked this game up for my collection about 3 years ago and never regretted it. This game is a blast. It is on the pricier side, but normally the expensive games are not fun, but Ducktales 2 is worth it. And we got Radsternaut. Have had it since the 90s.
Nice.
Except my idiot kid brother sold Game Boy version 2005. That's right. You can play this game on Game Boy, and that'd be the cheaper buy if you were going to buy it that way instead of on the NES. You just wouldn't have color. I don't know how exact of a port it is to the Game Boy version. Was there anything in our YouTube reels? Let's see. Shorts here. DuckTales 2. We had one comment was Matthew says, firing up right now. My Mayo Mini Plus. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's some emulator, but I guess he found a way to play it.
Nice. That's awesome.
DuckTales 2. So who knows? If I said a lot of these sequels, they're trying to do a little bit more, right? They don't want to. I bet you if they made it pretty much the same as the first one, we would be complaining about that. But like, they didn't try anything new. It's just a freaking they barely tried to make this game.
But on the flip side, they changed everything about Mario 2 and everybody complained.
That's true. But then I feel like now they kind of give it a pass, right? They think it's
not a real Mario game.
Yeah.
True.
I disagree though.
All right, what would we rate this game? We'll go through that. Out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
And that's because it just didn't hit the same way. The gameplay's cool, but I wasn't excited playing it like I was if I popped in the original DuckTales.
All right.
I would probably give it a 4 because I would give the original one a 5. And in my opinion, this one, it tries to achieve that. It definitely stumbles, but it definitely tries. So 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah. I feel like I'm leaning towards the 4 as well, only because we only had a few days with it. I feel like if I continued to play this game throughout the year, it would grow on me a lot more and enjoy it a lot better. So, not too bad. I'd say still check it out. And again, it's an expensive game, so maybe grab the Game Boy version.
$266.64 loose according to pricecharting.com.
There you go.
A complete copy, $750.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
Spicy.
It's up there for sure.
You get that nice sweet box art right there.
I mean, I don't think that box particularly is worth the $750 complete, but
I liked using that one because it showed a little wear and tear on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been used. That one's been played.
It
was well loved.
Well loved. What are we jumping into next week for our game?
Well, you guys actually have 2 weeks to play this because I'm going on vacation and we're taking a week off. So when we come back 2 weeks from today, we're going to have a special guest. We'll tell you about our special guest later on in the show, but our special guest has chosen The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And you all know how much we love this game.
Is that sarcasm?
Well, do you remember we had a conversation about I think it was a Wheel of Doom.
Oh, yes, that came
About
up.
how Ocarina, and we got so much flack for it. So we're gonna replay it and we're gonna see what holds up.
I feel like
that's
this is
right.
good because we get the 2 weeks. I feel like we get 2 weekends with
Yeah.
this game. It is a longer game.
Yep.
I haven't played it in quite some time, so we'll see. We'll go back to
Russ
it.
can get 2 live streams on it.
Maybe I'll live stream it on the Rustly channel. We'll see. Why not? Since we're taking off next week, I can essentially live stream for 4 hours if I choose to.
There you go. Set up.
And this game might appear later in the show today.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Fair enough. Foreshadowing.